Guys, I just had a thought. And the thought was that God literally designed the mind to be your personal enemy. Like it's a built-in set you up type of mechanism that's testing your soul, testing your spirit to help your soul evolve. Yes, testing your spirit to help your soul evolve. Because I personally feel like there's layers to it. I feel like there's the physical world, then the spiritual world, then the soul. And I feel like the soul is what's closest to God. But that's like energy. That's like, girl, maybe even smaller than energy. Whereas the spirit, I feel like the spirit is like the realm where things like buloi happens. I feel like that's, but I feel like the soul is it's just further than the spirit. But in any case, the spirit is that part of you that's like the bridge between the physical world and the soul world. And that's the part of you that gets tested a lot when you pass that stage of like healing and like evolving, where now you're being energetically tested because you're releasing a lot of energetic like projections that you're carrying your entire life because of whatever you experienced growing up. Just think of whatever you experienced growing up. But because first it's like the physical cleanup, and I personally experienced the physical cleanup. I don't know about y'all, but I personally experienced the physical cleanup first, where I just realized that no, man, there are so many places in my body that are tense, man, like restricted, like not even, I'm like just tight, and it's been tight for years. And as I was healing and like just really tapping deeper and deeper into myself and into my spirit, realizing that I'm gonna persevere. Someone walked by and like I haven't done this in a minute, so just have to hold my thought and not think about what other people are thinking, because it doesn't matter at the end of the day. So my body was tense in all these different areas, right? And as I was healing and like going outside and being physically active and like really digging deep spiritually and just within myself and confronting every thought that came up and questioning it. By the way, that is the process of healing, questioning every single thought that you have and trying to go as far into it as you can to find the root of its cause. Because the root of its cause is the belief, and that's the false belief that you have. But in some future video, I'll probably get into that. But let's stick with the physical body stuff for now. And, excuse me, sorry. But like, so as I was going through this physical world process, sorry, this is the third and last time I'm repeating this, but as I was going through this physical world process, I realized that as I was getting more confidence and becoming more aware of the tension in my body in those areas, it's like as I became aware of the tension, in the same moment that I became aware of the tension and where it was, I simultaneously became aware of the belief that was the cause of all these thoughts and all these negative thoughts that I have and that I keep repeating to myself. Because the thing about negative thoughts and the really prominent ones in your mind are, it's repetitive. It's like the same main 5 thoughts, if I can think about it. You're stressing about how you look. You're stressing about your acne. You're stressing about your toxic family. You're stressing about your toxic boyfriend, girlfriend, husband, wife, and everything in between. You're stressing about like something, man. You know? And those are the top 5 thoughts. Like, there's probably more categories, but it's like those loopy thoughts, and you're constantly thinking to yourself, or at least the thoughts show up within those relations, within those contexts. So every time you're around a specific family member, you feel like shit, you feel inferior, you feel criticized, you feel shame, you feel guilt, you feel like an illusion of love is being forced onto you. When you're around your partner, you feel the same thing. When you're around that one friend of yours, you feel the same thing. And it's like but then you never say anything. You don't speak up for yourself. You betray yourself in every moment as this is happening. And I became aware of these concepts simultaneously, and that's when I realized that, oh, there's more to this. It's not just my mental. I'm not gonna do it like that. It's not just that your mental health is in shambles, but your physical health too. And your mental health is affecting your physical health. Like, because of all the thoughts that are trapped in your mind, your body follows suit and acts as if it's trapped as well. Because your mind, your body is more powerful than your mind, but your mind has a strong capacity to control, and very easily, because your mind is susceptible to whatever's out. Your mind is the most susceptible sense you have. It's the most susceptible to like external factors, external changes. You know what I mean? So your mind is very quick to take on an illusion. Your mind is very quick to try and take on someone else's perspective of you and convince you that you're wrong, because this person must think you're wrong, or because this person treats you like you're wrong. I feel like trauma is like the dichotomy of, oh girl, I haven't used that word in a minute. What does it mean? Let me not use that word incorrectly. But I feel like trauma is like holding 2 contradictory ideas in your mind at the same time. So the contradictory idea number 1 being your intuition, and the contradictory idea number 2 being what someone else is trying to convince you of, that is meant to invalidate your intuition. Like, I feel like the thing about it is, every time I make these videos and like I talk, I'm talking, yes, and maybe it sounds like I'm teaching, I don't know, but really I'm processing, like I'm putting it together. I feel like I'm processing what's happening, and like why it's happening, and like I feel like I'm joining links. And I think that's why I lose my train of thought a lot, because I'm like trying to understand how all of this is connected. I think over the years I've been learning the different aspects of like society, from dealing with toxic energy and trying to survive that, and that was a whole phase, to then empathizing with toxic energy, and that was a whole phase, to then accepting that this toxic energy is destructive to me, and that was a whole phase, continuing to be around that destructive energy, and that was a whole phase. The next phase, of course, had to be a complete separation from that toxic energy, but because I was trying to hold on to it so long under the illusion of safety and comfort, an illusion that was never there because I never felt it, because I was trying to hold on so hard, even to the very last end, it had to all happen so drastically. And that's what, I don't know how many people, but some people experience. Like, it just takes one traumatic event and suddenly everything gets flipped on its head. And now you're forced to confront all these things. You're forced to confront all these thoughts, and find their beliefs. You're forced to revisit every single experience you had in your childhood that is like very destructive to you right now, and it feels so painful and so hard and so isolating. And I can imagine that it would be more so for people who are quite extroverted. So I'm a bit more introverted, and I grew up by myself, so I'm used to my own company. So it was a smooth transition in terms of isolating myself from people to go within, but it was the coming out of it and seeing how much has changed around me and how much I've changed within, and how what's around me does not reflect what's within, nor does it understand what's within me. There was now this inclination for me to go back to those patterns and those thoughts and those beliefs and those false illusions and false ideas of who I am before the healing process happened. Because now I'm like, oh, everything's changed. It must be my fault. That once you go through that initial stage of healing, and now you're like, okay, you're aware of everything that's happened to you, and like you're like, no, actually, that experience, that feeling I had was actually valid, and this person was actually trying to give me an illusion by manipulating me and being narcissistic. To now going through a phase of being tested, but also purging that energy. Like, and the testing is challenging your, like, it's challenging your spirit. It's testing if your spirit has truly accepted everything that it's learned from the initial healing process that comes from the physical body. Because then after healing the physical body, then comes the energetic cleanup, and that's a process in and of itself as well. But the energetic cleanup involves you being tested in such a way where now you're thrusted back into these energies, you're thrusted back into the environments, and they're like, we want to see how you're going to handle this. Are you actually ready? Are you actually ready to go full Monty and accept all these realizations you've made and stop betraying yourself? Are you ready to stop betraying yourself and see where that takes you? Take the risk, stop betraying yourself, and see where that takes you. It's going to be so difficult to believe that you can survive without people who are harming you, because you think it's normal. You think you can't, and you think that way because that's what they fed you. They fed you an illusion, and the test is to get out of the illusion. Can you realize that this is an illusion? Can you realize that not only does my intuition tell me that this person is not treating me right, and not only do I now have the memory and the young adult thinking capacity to really understand what was happening there, and to understand that nobody, this person was trying to manipulate me. Because you've gained, since being a child or in the adolescence phase, you gain a deeper understanding of like people and studying people, and then it becomes a question of, can you integrate everything and have empathy for people and still show love even if people are being snacks to you? But that's a different path. But it's like, and it's a long process, like healing, cleansing your energy. It's such a long process because you're purging all of the stuff. Every time you show resilience and fortitude and you push past that instinctive thought that comes through after you've just come out of your little first healing stage, that instinct that comes out of you to now fall back into those patterns that destroyed you in the first place. Fall back into those patterns and allow that person back into your life. Fall back into those patterns and allow that person to speak to you in that way, and to hold your tongue and not tell them how their tone is making you feel attacked, minimized, belittled, ignored, dismissed, rejected, completely unseen, unworthy, worthless, invalid. Come on. And it's challenging because how do you conquer the mind. You heal the body to unlock the secrets, which is that you were never doing well in the first place. Then you heal the body, and then you come back to the mind. Now you have to heal the mind. And once you heal the mind, then you've got full control. You've got full control of your body because you're grounded. You've got full control of your mind because you are centered. And those are two different things. Centered means you are like, you are within, but you have balance. You are able to operate in the physical world, but also be so balanced and so focused within yourself that you can very almost at the speed of like neurons, you can handle yourself in interactions with people by reading energies. You gain the capacity to read energies and trust in the reading that you get of that energy. Because you're connected to your body now, you're connected to your mind, you're connected to your spirit. You are like full again, you are complete again. Now you can function properly. Now you can function in control. The real control, not the fake control where you're trying to give people an illusion of who you are by how you dress, by the music you listen to. No. It's like once you hear, bro, you realize how powerful you are. Like once you finish, I probably am gonna have more healing to do, but like this is a different breed now. This is a different breed. It's like from here my life is only going up. And it's because I stood there and I said, I don't know what the fuck is on the other side of this, but this is wrong. What I am experiencing in this environment is wrong. I'm gonna stand by my truth, even though I'm getting so much energy being thrown at me. Vile energy, malicious, like parasitic, like if anyone can even remember Venom, but like not Venom though, Evil Spider-Man from the 2000s, that suit, that black suit. Remember how that alien slime thing moved? Being that energy felt like that type of shit was trying to creep up on me, bro. Imagine having to tell your mind that's literally freaking out at a decision you're making. It's like you have to be two people in your mind to heal. You have to be both the part of you that's been destroying yourself by believing these illusions that these people who hurt you have been feeding you, and then there's a part of you that's trying to shift you away from that. And it's intense because it's like it's polar opposites. You're moving from one pole to the opposite pole. It's intense and it's scary and it's daunting. But the more you throw yourself into that, the deeper you go, and the more you ask those questions to yourself. Why do I think that I am unworthy? Why do I think I'm unworthy? Why do I think I'm unworthy of success? Why do I think I'm unworthy of abundance? Why do I think I'm unworthy of a life of ease, of good? Why do I think I'm unworthy? Oh, because I come from the township, and it's been very difficult throughout my entire life to have access to things. And every time I tried to ask for help, I was made to feel inferior. And at first, I was like, no man, this feels snacks. But at every turn, I was made to feel inferior in the education system. In terms of the material things I have, I was made to feel inferior because I lack. People kept throwing this projection, this idea onto me that I lack, that that I'm not enough because I'm not any of these things. I'm not a smart kid who can academically work their way out of the hood. I'm not this, I'm not that, I'm not this, I'm not that, I'm not that. That society tells me I should be. Therefore, I am unworthy. I am inherently unworthy. I am inherently not enough. And that is quite literally the opposite of where your entire belief and your entire mindset is supposed to be. It's the opposite. That's why we have people getting depression. That's why we have people getting anxiety. That's why we have people having all these physical symptoms, mental symptoms, psychological symptoms, because they're living in a world that's so opposite to them, and it's trying to make to who their true self is, and it's trying to put it over the course of your life, from childhood into adolescence or adulthood, into the point where you start to make the decision that you want to heal. Your entire life, you keep being told through every stage of your development that you are not it. And the thing is, we don't realize that they're moving us further down away from who we truly are. That's why people love babies so much, and people like, oh my gosh, babies, like we all like babies, because babies are authentic as fuck. Babies are authentic as fuck. Excuse me. Babies are authentic as fuck. But as that baby grows up, it learns implicitly, or it learns explicitly, that it is not enough. Implicitly being that it doesn't get attention. It does whatever it can to try and get attention. Be good, be smart, be obedient, be everything. Be everything. Be my therapist, be my punching bag, be my emotional punching bag, be my everything. Be my comfort. Come and sit with me in sorrow, misery, and shame as I think about how I've wasted my life, and convince you that life is a waste. That baby is shifted further and further away from its true self, because it gets warped into this illusion. And this illusion is trying to tell them that they're not enough. And this illusion starts at home. It starts at home, and then it goes into friendships, and then it goes into school, and then it goes into higher academic institutions, and then it goes into workplace dynamics, and then it goes into at every turn. Don't we get it? Don't we get it? And I'm not blaming the people watching this. I'm not blaming you who's listening to this. I'm not blaming you. This is not your fault. But at some point, and it's already happening, but at some point a huge collection of humanity is going to have to start being forced to wake up and being forced to realize the truth, which is that all of this is an illusion, and that all this tomfuckery and all this disaster and chaos and degeneracy and pure evil that's happening is not even fucking real. By reminding them of the power that they have to create, by simply showing them that they have been creating their misery this entire time, by believing this illusion that they are not enough, that they are unworthy, and therefore that they deserve to be in the position that society has relegated to them. They deserve to feel like shit because they have a face full of acne. They deserve to feel like shit because they come from the township. They deserve to feel like shit. You should feel like you should. And that's what's constantly projected onto people. And that's the illusion that they believe, and they start to feel like they're stuck in the system, and they're stuck. And trust me, it is hard to fight through that belief. So I don't underestimate. Because how do you tell someone that it's your fault that you don't even make enough money to survive and support your kids because you have the wrong mindset? How the fuck could I say something like that? You know? And I understand that thinking. I understand it. Because how can you say something like that, bro? Like, I did not choose this. Like, quite frankly, I was born into this. And I was just told that because I was born in this geographical location, in this type of household, with this type of skin color, I am at this level in society, which is at the bottom. What do you mean, bro? Like, come on. I don't have the time to believe this whole mindset shenanigans you're talking about, because I have to go to that job and go work my ass to the bone just to make 5K. But let's not forget tax. And then let's not forget that I have to still put my grandkids through school. Let's not forget that I still have to go put my child through school. The mother of the kids. The mother of my grandkids, I mean. So you don't have time to believe what I'm saying. Of course you don't. Because that is the illusion as well, that you don't have time, that you... And it's deep. It's actually deep. To control the mind is deep. because the mind is what operates in the 3D. But you need to use the mind to transcend the mind, to then get back to the mind and have it be in a healthier state. That's the healing process. That's the healing process. That's the healing journey. And I didn't even answer that example I was making just now. But maybe I'm making my point as I explain this. And I lost my thought, but it's gonna come back. But I'm actually tempted to go back to that idea. It's difficult to overcome that. How can you tell me that my mindset is the reason why I still feel all this tension in my body and all this stress and all this panic and all this pressure while I'm trying to get this degree? What do you mean is because I put myself around these people? I have no choice. I have to be around these people. I need them. They have the financial resources I need. I need to be housed. I need shelter when schools close. I need these people. I need food when schools close. I need these people. So how can I not go back there to that place that's so debilitating? How can I not go back there? I need those people. They have access to the things I need. I don't like being there, but I'm forced to be there. That was my mindset. That was my mindset before all of this. I could not even fathom the level of mental freedom I have now. I could not even fathom it. But now I can fathom it. And what a privilege it is to be able to fathom it. And as this channel goes on, I suppose you'll get to understand this idea that I'm talking about. But it's like my mind went from one polar end to the opposite end. I think I'm still trying to figure out how to comprehend and understand how I got myself to this point and reflect on that journey. And I think this is what that is. Like, I think I'm connecting the dots from a point where I'm now not just completely detached, but also moving forward and being present and intentional with my life, and no longer participating in those illusions, quite because I made the conscious effort, the scary decision, and quite frankly, uncertain decision to stand strong next to the feelings I felt, and to stand strong in accordance with them, and to hold my resolve, and to just hold my resolve, and to hold my resolve, and to hold my resolve, and to hold my resolve. And the more I kept saying, I'm just going to hold on to my resolve and hold on to my resolve, the closer I was getting myself out of that situation. The more freedom I was getting in my mind. Do you understand? When your mind is free, the world is yours. The world is yours. There is nothing anyone can say you can't do. The world is yours. When your mind is free, but if it's tight, you are a victim of the world. You are subject to it. You are subject to its rules. You are subject to its limitations. You are subject to its ideas. You are subject to its standards. You are subject to the illusions of the world if your mind is trapped under the illusions of the world. It's an illusion everywhere. Illusion, 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 illusion. It's all an illusion. The system itself, it's an illusion of life. This is not life. This is not life. You were not meant to be stressed out at any point. This is the experience we all have, but the objective is to move forward, is to push past it, it's to evolve, and realize and wake up to the realization that this is an illusion, that it's all an illusion. What you're being physically fed, it's an illusion. What you're being emotionally fed is an illusion. What you're being energetically fed is an illusion. What you're being psychologically fed is an illusion. What you're being fed on this here device, it's an illusion. You could think what I'm saying is an illusion for like, hey, if you think it's an illusion to you. And that's why it's up to you to make the choice if you want to continue believing the illusion or not. Or if you want to continue disbelieving the illusion or not. And I feel like this surge of wanting to unpack even more on this concept of illusion, because it's everywhere, it's in everything. And for the system to be able to perpetuate itself like this, the concept of illusion and the implementation of the idea of illusion, because when you're a baby, I fully believe you are just the most authentic, most like real raw version of yourself, most pure form of consciousness. And then come all these physical world experiences, and then it's like a loop, the process of the soul. It comes back, the objective is for it to come back to itself, but better and better and better. But this concept of illusions is in everything, and it's in everything. And it's like, I breathe so deeply because I have to also remind myself, as people walk by, I have to remind myself that embarrassment is an illusion, that shame is an illusion. They don't know what I'm doing. They don't know what I'm talking about. But that person saw me, looked at me, noticed me, kept going on about their life, because I am literally in the periphery of their world. I am in the periphery of their illusion or non-illusion. I don't know what perspective they're living in. They could be looking at me and saying, they might not have even seen me. They probably were looking past me. It's an illusion. Why are you ashamed? Why are you embarrassed? Why are you cringing? It's not real. You cringe because you think the real you is wrong. Stop cringing. Why are you cringing? You think the real you is wrong. And if you think the real you is wrong, you're out of balance. That instantly puts you out of balance. And if you think the real you is inherently wrong, as a thought that occurs to you every second, every minute, every hour, every day, every week, every month, every year, every decade, every century, how is that? Babes, how are you not going to be mentally trapped? What? You're feeding yourself, a creator, an illusion that you don't have the capacity to create. You are a creator. Like, how can you not have the capacity to create? Sure, you can wake up tomorrow and go tear down all these buildings and say, fuck the system. And that's valid. And I respect that, and I back that. But here's a suggestion. You could take it a step further and go within. Change yourself. Change yourself and you change the fucking world. Be real with yourself and you change the fucking world. You can't spread hate if you have love and nothing but love. Self-love. You can't spread hate. To have self-love, you understand hate. So how can you... You can only give out hate if you contain hate within you. That's it. You can only give out hate if you contain hate within you. So if someone walks past and I see them look at me and it seems to be an expression of disgust or outright resentment, and they try and make me feel that illusion with them, it's my choice if I want to believe that or not. But taking on that belief puts me out of balance, because I'm doing something that I enjoy. I'm living in my own world, yet I'm taking on the energy this person is trying to transfer to me. Energy that carries information that's saying what I'm doing is it's incorrect. How can they tell me that what I'm doing is incorrect? They are not in my world. I decide what's correct or incorrect. And because I decide what's incorrect or what's correct or incorrect. I decide how my world moves, how I move through the world. And rewind to that part. Rewind to that part and don't just link it to yourself. Link it to the things you see happening in society. Link it to men who rape. Like, I just have too many thoughts, and sometimes I need to like take a deep breath and allow myself to like see what new thoughts have come up. And I'll expand on these ideas as this goes on. You just have to like listen, girl, and settle in, listen, have your little tea with you and just listen. Or like, and do something while you listen to this, please. Like, do something that's not looking at another device. This is your one and only device when you listen to my shit. This is the only device you have on. Do something, girl. Do something with your hands. Move around. Move your body. Move around. Move around. Even if you're sharing with someone, move around. Move around. Move around. Even if you're just moving your shoulders, move that shit. That's the first step to it all. Just move. Just move. Your body needs stimulation. It needs to move, because then you're saying, hey body, wake up, I need you to work, I need you to work. So that takes some of your mind's attention away and gives it to the body so that it can have some level of awareness and function. But what you've just done is shifted some of your energy from your mind to your body. And if you want your body to work, it's going to want to work correctly. So what is it trying to do? To seek balance. And that's where the healing comes from. And the more you move, the closer you're bringing it to gaining balance. In whatever way whatever movement means to you, whatever it looks like, as long as you can be consistent with it, as long as you can use it as a teacher and not as like a tool for aesthetics. The aesthetics come afterwards, actually, surprisingly. But use the movement as a tool to process. Use the movement as a therapist, as a place for you to explore those thoughts. Finally, bring down the barriers in your mind and allow those thoughts to just come, and address one at a time. And say, okay, every time a girl rejects me, I feel like crap. And I feel down. And I lie to myself and I act like I'm not hurt by it by going drinking with the boys or whatever. I drink too much. The more I'm drinking, the more I'm becoming aware that I'm running away from the thoughts and the problems. I have a habit of doing this. And then I have a habit of taking out that frustration and that anger, or that sadness rather, that I felt when that girl rejected me, by on another girl who just so happens to be at the same place where I'm drinking. Different scenarios could occur. I could grope this girl. I could try and trigger conflict with this girl, verbal conflict. I could outright coerce this girl by encouraging this girl to drink with me with the intention of, you guessed it, I could outright do said thing to this girl if she seems to be out of it enough. Because I'm trying to run away from the sadness I felt. That sadness made me feel so out of control. That sadness made me feel like down, and I want to feel good. I want to feel in control. So let me go get control. But I can't even get control authentically by addressing those thoughts and those feelings that come up. I have to do it inauthentically. I have to get a false sense of control by trying to control my external. And how do I control my external? Some choose the avenue of being rapists. some choose the avenue of being physically violent towards other men only, or two, men and women, and everybody in between. Matter of fact, add them kids in there too. And then it goes on. And then, get this, if there's physical abuse involved, and this person has now become a father, and there's physical abuse on the kids and or the wife, no, on the wife and or the kids, because you know in SA it almost always involves the wife. It's the wife getting beat first. And I'm not saying kids should get beat first. No one should be getting beat, period. And this is just an example, by the way, the most common example. We know that rape happens in different, the arrow goes both ways. I'm just giving an example. We know that physical abuse occurs in both ways. In terms of gender spectrum, the whole shanders. A woman can be physically abusive and a man can be physically abusive, but I'm giving the example of a man being physically abusive to his wife and kids as an example, because that is the most common, and I have intricate thoughts on that. This man's still carrying this sense of lacking control, and this man is still trying to gain control in a false manner, in an illusory manner, by convincing the people around him that he's in control. First, there was the example of the rapist, wanted to control how women perceive him by trying to force the illusion that they are attracted to him, or whatever the hell goes through the mind of someone who allows their dark thoughts and sad feelings go that far that they would perpetuate physical violence like that. That one's just, no, you're spiritually incorrect with that one, actually. Like, there's actually more there, and I don't give a fuck. No. But then the more mild ones, if you can say mild, the more mild one would be, now let's move on to this example of the family. Now this man holds, but still holding the same idea of lacking control, just it being perpetuated in different ways. This man with the family now holds this idea of wanting to enforce control by trying to enforce the illusion that he is the one in control of his reality, by trying to control everybody else's reality, to conform to his reality that he is the one in control. But his concept of control in his reality involves him reaching out into the external world and trying to control others, to act in a way that makes him feel like he's in control. The real control is gained from going within. And going within involves unconditional